Reg Chappell's love affair with swimming began at an early age. As a 3-year-old, Reg had to be tied to a picnic table to prevent him from drowning in the deep water from which he refused to stay away. His family could not afford swimming lessons until he was 12. By the time he reached secondary school, he was enjoying some success swimming as an individual and as a relay member. Reg credits coach Keith Buckley, who insisted that homework be done on deck before being allowed in the pool. In Reg's words, "He did more to guide me than I could ever thank him for." In 1966, Reg was senior overall champion as member of Herman Collegiate Institute. The same year, he won 3 gold medals at the Windsor Secondary School Championship and was named a gold member of the Windsor Secondary School Senior Championship team. Coach Buckley moved on and Reg's academics slipped. After failing grade 12, he went to work in a factory for 4 years. In 1969, following his mother's passing, Reg fulfilled one of her wishes and entered the kinesiology program at the University of Windsor. Another coach, Professor Ron Schlegel, was instrumental in helping Reg stay the course and ultimately graduate. In 1973, Reg had a 6th place finish in the 100-meter breaststroke on behalf of the University of Windsor at the Ontario University Swimming Championships. Reg would continue to compete as a masters swimmer. In 2006, as an Aurora Master Ducks athlete, he achieved a 6th place finish in the 50-meter breaststroke at the World Masters Swimming Championships. 8 years later, in 2014, he would be a member of the gold medal-winning 200-meter medley relay team at the same event. Reg began his coaching career early. In 1962, he coached with the City of Windsor Summer Swim Clubs, where he remained until 1970, and the W.F. Herman Collegiate Institute Diving Club. In 1967, he joined the Windsor Swim Club as a junior coach, and in 1969, he became the first head coach of the newly formed Windsor Aquatic Club. In 1973, Reg moved on to the Town of Mississauga Aquatic Club, Tomac, and 2 years later to the Peterborough Y Swim Club. In 1980, he founded and was head coach of the Trent University swim team. Reg moved on to coach the Newmarket Stingrays in 1983, and in 1985, the club won Ontario's AAA team championship. In 1986, Reg stepped back from coaching, but not before he had recruited Alan Swanston as his successor. Following his marriage to wife Carol, Reg worked as a financial advisor. In 1993, Reg founded his own club, Aurora Swim Club, and Ducks Swimming Club, Inc. Over time, this would come to include Stouffville Swim Club and Master Ducks Aurora. Reg served as founder, president, and high-performance coach. In 1995, he founded Master Ducks and Masters Triathlon with Nancy McKendrick Black as coach. Together, they won a provincial championship and finished 3rd at nationals. Reg's Ducks Swimming won the provincial AAA team championship in 2005, and that same year, after 6 years of lobbying, the Ducks moved from a 4-lane pool to a new 25-meter, 8-lane facility. Following Olympic trials in 2008, Reg stepped down from day-to-day coaching and assumed a more presidential role. Kelly Albright Hughes, who was with Reg since 2001, became head coach. Reg's daughter, Christine, took charge of the stroke development program. In 2011, Summer Mortimer asked Reg to coach her to the Paralympics in Britain. Under Reg's tutelage, Summer set 3 world records, 5 Canadian para records, and won 4 medals, 2 gold, 1 silver, 1 bronze at the Paralympics. Reg also coached duck swimmer Nydia Langel at the 2015 Para-Pan Am Games in Toronto and at the 2016 Paralympic Games in Rio, where she attained 10th and 12th place finishes. From 1969 through 2016, Reg coached 3 world record swims, 5 Canadian record swims, 24 Canadian age group records, 32 Ontario age group records, and 2 Canadian University National Championship teams. Reg was awarded the Ontario Swim Coaches Association's Special Achievement Award in 1985, following his leadership of the Newmarket Stingrays AAA age group team champs, and again in 2005 for his repeat with duck swimming. Reg has received many other awards in recognition of his coaching accomplishments. The high water mark may have been in 2012 when he was accorded Ontario Coach of the Year, All Sports, Swimming Canada Para Swimming Coach of the Year, Ontario Swim Coaches Para Swimming Coach of the Year, Coaches Association Coaching Excellence Award, and Queen Elizabeth Diamond Jubilee Award. From 1970 through 1984, Reg variously served as Secretary of the Ontario Swim Coaches Association for 14 years, Master Course Conductor and Program Advisor for ESSO Swim Canada Awards, member of the Design Committee for the NCCP Technical, Theory, and Practical Levels 1, 2, and 3, and NCCP Master Course Conductor. Like most builders, Reg also had off-deck involvement. In 2005, Reg chaired the fundraising committee in support of construction for the Stronach Aurora Recreation Complex and assisted in the project's approval. The same year, he became a founding member and director of Sport Aurora. By 2014, Reg would become a vice president and chair of the facilities committee. He became vice president in 2017. The Aurora Sport Hall of Fame was established in 2012. Reg was a founding member and director. He also is involved with Activate Aurora and Multisport Aurora. Reg retired from coaching in 2018. He is forever grateful to his high school coach, Keith Buckley, for his guidance and encouragement. He is equally thankful to his University of Windsor coach, Ron Schlegel, who believed in and supported him. In Reg's own words, "Coaches make a difference, and because of them, I have always paid it forward." The Ontario Aquatic Hall of Fame is proud to induct Reg Chappell as a builder.
Thank you. Paul and the Hall of Fame Board of Directors, Dan and the Swim Ontario Board of Directors, guests, thank you for this unbelievable honor. And Aaron, congratulations as well for being in. I'm proud to be inducted with you and to join those that have gone before us. And congratulations to our World and Pan Am champions. Passion and people were a major part of my success. Passion. One of my earliest memories at 3 years of age was at the beach and my love of water. There was a slide out in deep water. I started walking out to that slide and remember the green and brown water and blowing bubbles as I walked out to the slide. It turned out my dad ran into the water, camera around his neck, and kept me from drowning. He then had to tie me to that picnic table to keep me from doing it again. Years later, I would pretend to swim like Tarzan in the roadside ditches while standing in the back seat of my dad's car, arms going either side of his head. We didn't wear seatbelts then. Unfortunately, there was no money for swimming lessons until I was almost 13. That first lesson, they lined us up, then pushed every other person into the water to a waiting instructor. They missed me, and I was not waiting, so I jumped in while no one was watching. Swimming like Tarzan, I made it to shallow water. I grew up in Windsor, and in grade 9 I joined the Herman Collegiate High School swim team. First practice, Coach Keith Buckley said, 1 mile warm-up. I quit. Coach Buckley found me the next day and patiently guided me. By Christmas, I could swim that mile, and that summer, I was teaching and coaching swimming and diving. People, we all need someone in our life to pick us up and guide us and possibly to change our direction. Coach Keith Buckley at Herman was that special man. He kept me at the pool. He kept me out of trouble. He made me do my homework on the pool deck before letting me swim, and patiently guided me. The passion Coach Buckley instilled in me set the direction for the rest of my life. He left as I entered grade 12, and I proceeded to fail grade 12 twice, and then spent 4 years working in the factory. It shows how important coaches can be to the lives of children. At 21 years of age, my mother passed away. I fulfilled her wish and entered the University of Windsor Bachelor of Physical and Health Education program with a goal to become a swim coach. This was a major turning point in my life. During my first semester, I worked steady midnights at the factory, swam on the university swim team. It was Coach Professor Ron Schlegel who became the next important coach to turn my life around. By Christmas, I was struggling to pull D's when he needed B's to pass. He saw something in me, and one day he asked when I would quit the factory work. He made me promise, and then said he had arranged for me to write my exams during the Christmas holidays. Each day, 3 hours before swim practice, he would preside over my exam. I pulled solid C's, quit the factory, began closing down the library every night, and I never looked back. Coach Schlegel believed in me. He gave me a chance, stood up for me, guided a pretty energetic, somewhat wild, fun-loving kid, and I can't thank him enough. In 1970, I was hired as the first head coach of the Windsor Aquatic Club, and I have never regretted the direction I took, and I was determined to pay it forward. Unfortunately, after 56 years, I ran out of time and energy, and last summer, at age 71, I stepped down as president and high-performance coach of Aurora Ducks Swimming, a club I founded 26 years ago. This room is filled with exceptional individuals, both coaches and administrators, who have been inspired and have inspired others. And I don't need to tell you how important you are to the lives of many. Coaches are the hub that bring the members of each club together. Good coaches work 20 hours per week on deck, 20 to 30 hours on administration, and 30 to 40 hours twice per month at swim meets. My question is, where do you find the time to stay ahead of the trends and learn from other coaches? Fortunately, I grew up in a time where meets were short. Coaches had time and energy to have dinner together, then drinks in someone's hotel room. We only talked swimming. A highlight of our mini coaching clinics was Brian Cartledge using a bar of soap to draw pictures of breaststroke technique on the mirror. If you suggested something, you'd better be able to defend it. We learned so much from each other. All clinics were important. At the World Coaches Clinic, I skipped the lecture and went to the hotel pool to meet up with Doc Councilman, George Haynes, and Peter Dalen, 3 of the greatest coaches ever. They were debating breaststroke technique, American versus Russian style, using Doc's underwater mirrors. In 1974, Swim Ontario rented the outdoor 50-meter Smythe pool for any Ontario senior qualifier. There were no lane assignments, so we competed for everything. Maurice Valancourt at Oakville would put his sprinters up against Gay Stratton's distance swimmers from Etobicoke. There were flyers against breaststrokers, club against club. No one held back. Imagine your mentor coach coaching their swimmers in the lane beside you while you tried to run a better workout with your swimmers. Workouts and swimmers got tougher, and coaches learned from each other. For me, coming from Windsor, it was the single greatest practical learning lessons I've had in the sport. The majority of my career has been with able-bodied athletes, but few realize they are but one accident away from being a para-athlete. From those born with disabilities, like Nydia Langell, to someone like Summer Mortimer, an able-bodied athlete who shattered her feet in a trampoline accident. If you want to take your coaching knowledge to another level, try coaching para-athletes. Highlight of my career, opening ceremonies 2012 Paralympic Games in London, England, and walking out of the tunnel into the stadium. It was an overwhelming experience and worth the 50 years it took to get there. A major goal was to build my own swim club, which I accomplished with Trent University Swim Team, Duck Swimming, Stouffville Swim Club, and Aurora Master Ducks. No one does it alone. I want to thank my good friends and all of my coaching buddies, female ones as well, for the inspiration, knowledge, and challenges they gave me. Going back to the 70s, it was Maurice Valancourt, Bob Eenan, Bob Bodway, Herb DeBray, George Wiskin, and the Honorable Dr. Paul Humm. Later, it was Howard Furby, Dr. Haney, Paul Marone, and Craig Mortimer. And I would like to say a special thank you to Andrei Semenov for nominating me for this position. Thank you to my teachers, professors, and mentors who volunteered their time to coach us. I especially want to thank, again, my coaches, Keith Buckley and Ron Slater. My partners at Duck Swimming. Nobody does it alone. Nancy McKendrick Black, one of our early coaches. She was a key part in the growth of Master Ducks as we grew to 100 members and a provincial championship. Then Nancy took over the Masters program, grew it to 200 plus swimmers and a national champion. Nancy, thank you very much for all the support you've given me. Kelly Albright Hughes has coached with me for 18 years, from head age group coach and manager to becoming head coach of Duck Swimming. Kelly has been my right hand. Her support kept me from leaving the sport 10 years ago, and I can't thank her enough. Christine Van Dalen, my daughter, has coached with me for 14 years as head stroke development coach. We both believe that the early years of swimming should be devoted to stroke technique, fun, and physical literacy, not training. I cannot say enough about what she brings to our sport and how proud I am of her. To you, my parents, and my family, and most importantly to my wife Carol, who has supported me during the tough times and the good times, accepted the fact that I missed so many family functions because of swimming. Sweetheart, I love you. To the Ontario Aquatic Hall of Fame, thank you for this unbelievably great honor. Thank you.
Good evening. It's my pleasure to speak briefly on behalf of the Ontario Aquatic Hall of Fame. I'd like to start by welcoming the family and friends of our two inductees tonight. As was mentioned in our speech, a significant reason we are sitting here today is because of the love, support, guidance, and influence of all of you, family and friends. And it's one of those times when we get to celebrate the accomplishments of our inductees while we also realize the impact that positive, caring, and meaningful relationships have in our success and our ability to achieve. So thank you, family and friends, for joining us tonight. Reg, thank you for your many decades of dedication, passion, thoughtful guidance, and leadership. I certainly miss you on the deck. Nobody to chit-chat with right now. Aaron, thank you for your continued passionate dedication to our sport of water polo. Really appreciate you continuing to work with FINA. And on behalf of the Ontario Aquatic Hall of Fame, I'd like to welcome you both as our 2019 inductees into the hall. Hopefully tonight has encouraged you to celebrate and reflect on your many achievements. Welcome and thank you.